Hope everyone is fine out there. Perfect. And you are keeping yourself really safe and taking the precautions. That's great. I've been a little busy on my another channel, which is for the students and their parents. Basically, I'm telling them how to start teaching their children, especially in these days when they're all in their homes and not going to work. The schools are closed. So I was busy making some video lessons there, but I'm back. And in the last session with you guys, we talked about the naming words. And I shared some of the rules of how to transform a naming word when it appears in a singular form to its plural form. And by the way, you can revise that video and you can really check the rules again, once again, okay? Today we'll be talking about the naming words, of course, it's part 2. And I'll be sharing the qualifying word that comes with the naming word, and we normally call it the adjective. So how to use an adjective and what are some of the rules of using the qualifying word with a naming word or with a noun. So these qualifying words can be of different categories, like we can tell shape of something to qualify it, and or we can use the color, we can use an opinion about that person or that particular object we are talking about, or any naming word for that matter. And we can also use the age, it's old or it's new, or we can use the numbers with the naming words. So let's start by discussing some of the simple examples so you can really get the idea of the qualifying word that comes with the naming word. And normally in English language, the basic simple rule is that the adjective or the qualifying rule comes before that naming word. In some cases, it comes after that naming word as well, or at the end of a sentence, but I'll talk about it later. So first start with some basic simple examples. So for example, if I take this box, so I have a small pink rectangular box. So small refers to the size of the box, pink refers to the color of the box, and rectangular refers to the shape of this box. So when I say I have a small pink rectangular box, so what am I actually doing? I am qualifying this box, okay? So if you just say I have a box, so nobody knows what kind of a box you really have. So we put the size, we put the color, we put the shape, and we can put the age by adding old or new, okay? So since this box, which I just showed an example, is a new one, so we can add new, the word new in a sentence, in the same sentence. So I have a small, new, pink, rectangular box. Okay, we'll talk about the order. There's an order of adjective also, but right now I'm not going to confuse you guys with the order. So we'll just talk about what kind of qualifying words we can use to give quality or tell something more about that naming word. Similarly, if we talk about some place, so I would say, I have seen a beautiful garden. Now the word beautiful is an opinion, my opinion about that garden. So I say, I have seen a wonderful movie. Now this wonderful is telling more about that movie. Okay, so it was worth watching. So I use this word. So this is my opinion. Okay. I have seen a wonderful new movie. So now I'm adding the age. Okay. So similarly, you can talk about different things. So the best idea is, especially for the teachers when they are working with the students in the classrooms and with the students especially who don't have English as their native language. So it's really more important, all the more important to ask different questions from them. Or for example, if a student says, I've seen a movie, so the teacher must ask, what kind of a movie you have seen? So he would certainly think about some words. I've seen a horror movie, or I've seen a comedy movie, or I've seen a cartoon movie. Anything, any opinion which that student is putting into that sentence is really telling us more about that movie. So the idea is, again and again I'm repeating, do not confine their thought process. Do not limitize their thinking skills. Keep exploring, keep throwing questions, when, where, what was, okay? How many, how much, few, less, more. All these things qualify the naming words. So, a boy may say, I have toys. The teacher would be asking, how many toys do you have? If he really recalls or count the number, he would add a number, I have 10 toys. Or if he fails to add a number, he would just say, I have many toys. Or I have a few toys. Or I have some toys. So all these words which we are practicing today are the qualifying words. They tell us, what do they qualify? They qualify the naming word. They tell us more about that naming word. So, when you are teaching this to someone, especially the students, you can make a list of the options. For example, the shape, the color, opinion, age. These are the basic, the numbers. These are the basic options with the students. So the best idea would be that if you're in a classroom, you can write on one side of your board these options so that the students can easily pick from the options when they are going through a group discussion on naming words and qualifying words, or especially when they are making sentences. So the more they think while making the sentences, the more this will help them coming up with more vocabulary and more writing skills, right? So you'll be using these options when working with your child, or as a parent, or when you are working in the school with the students as teacher. So you do not really need to let the student learn how to define the word in adjective. That will not be of any help. Many students say a word that qualifies a noun is called a naming word. So when you ask them to really practically use in sentences, they just couldn't answer. So never start with the definition of these grammar rules, or these words like adjective, adverb, noun. That is why I keep calling it naming words, to relate the students with the topic. So naming word is really easy, because when you say noun, you need to define the noun. Or when you say adjective, then you need to define the adjective. What is an adjective? So that is why I again and again use qualifying word. A qualifying word that really tells us something more about the naming word. And it's the other way around. I'm telling you to do these things while you are talking with the student. in simple sentence making technique and asking and throwing some questions, so that would automatically give the student the idea of the qualifying word. So once he or she practices a lot, that what are the qualifying words, once you are sure enough that yes, now he or she has the full concept of that thing, then you can, no problem, if then you tell them that, well, this qualifying word is called an adjective. So conventionally, what we do is, we start with an adjective, write it on the board, write its definition, and then ask the student to learn and define what is an adjective. That's the old way. That's the conventional way. The smart way is to let them use the qualifying word and practice the qualifying word, and after the practice, they would automatically understand when you come up with the word adjective on the board. Right? So I'm sure that this is going to help you how to qualify different naming words. Okay? You can make thousands of sentences. I hope you are having that phrase book with you. Just make different sentences, and you will see that you are really able to make a lot of sentences. If you write the options, the numbers, the opinion, the age, or the size, the shape, the color, at least with these 6, you can add up in every sentence, and you will see that so many things you are telling about the same topic, or about the same naming word. Okay? So keep in touch, keep yourself safe, help others, and pay some attention to your children. They really need to be worked upon with. Thank you very much. Take care.